Hi, my name is Thatcher. I work for Columbia River PUD. If you remember from our last video, Columbia River PUD delivers electricity to our community. We deliver it to your school and to many of your homes, depending on where you live. Today, we'll do a quick review of the last video, then we'll talk about how electricity travels in a circuit, about conductors and insulators. To review, electricity is created by electrons flowing from one atom to another. Remember, everything you can see in the universe is made up of atoms, and they are tiny. They're so small that billions of them can fit on the tip of this pencil. Those tiny little atoms are made up of three even smaller parts: protons, neutrons, and electrons. The center of an atom is called the nucleus. It's where protons and neutrons are found. Protons have a positive charge and neutrons have no charge. The electrons, which have a negative charge, spin around the nucleus in shells. They remain a constant distance from the nucleus. The positively charged protons and the negatively charged electrons stay close to one another because opposites attract. Some materials, like metals, have atoms whose electrons on the outer shells are held loosely. Those electrons can be pushed out of their orbits. One way this can happen is to pass a magnet over a coil of copper wire, like the generators we discussed last time. Now that we've got the review portion out of the way, let's take a look at the science of electricity. There are two kinds: static and current. Static electricity exists in nature. It's a charge that's not moving and is built up in one place. Static, stationary, like on the surface of something. A lot of the time it happens when two different things are rubbed together. The two objects have differing attractions to electrons, so the stronger one will take the electrons away from the weaker one. Static charges build up and stay in place for a while, even when the materials are separated. Because atoms want to be balanced or have the same number of protons as electrons, this excess charge is balanced by a release of static electricity. Chances are you've experienced static electricity in one way or another. If you've been shocked when you try to open a door, if your clothes stick to each other when you take them out of the dryer, or if you've rubbed a balloon on your head to make your hair stand up, then you've experienced static electricity. Those are all types of static electricity you can experience in your home. There's another type of static electricity that you can see in nature, and that's lightning. During a heavy rain or thunderstorm, ice crystals are created in clouds. These crystals move around and rub up against each other in the cloud and exchange electrons. Some crystals end up with extra electrons, resulting in a negative charge, and others have fewer electrons, which results in a positive charge. When the electrical charges build up and get really strong, they are released by a stream of electrons that create a bolt of lightning. This allows all the electrical charges in the atmosphere to get back in balance. That's one type of electricity, static electricity. The other type is called current electricity. This is a constant moving flow of electrons. There are two kinds of current electricity: direct current, or DC, and alternating current, AC. Direct current electricity means the electrons move in one direction. Alternating current means the electrons flow in both directions. The electricity we use every day when we flip a light switch or plug something into an outlet is alternating current electricity. There are two basic ways to make electricity: batteries and generators. Batteries are self-contained power packs that convert stored chemical energy into electrical energy. Items that use batteries are things like flashlights, remote controls, cell phones, drones, iPads, Nintendo Switches, all the other toys you can think of, pretty much. Generators can make either AC or DC electricity. They use an energy source, like falling water at a hydro plant, to make a turbine spin. Like we talked about last time, this rotates huge electromagnets inside coils of copper to generate electricity. That electricity is then sent through wires on the transmission system to bring electricity to our schools, stores, and homes. Electricity can move through some things better than others. These things are called conductors. Good conductors include most metals, like copper, aluminum, iron, silver, gold, lead, and steel. Water is also a very good conductor. Conductors have loosely held electrons on their shells so that they can let electric currents move through them freely. Insulators, on the other hand, do not let electricity flow through them very well. They hold onto their electrons tightly, which slows down or resists the flow of electricity. Good insulators include rubber, cloth, plastic, glass, and wood. Some insulator materials do a better job than others. The same is true with conductors. For example, rubber is a better insulator than glass, just like silver is a better conductor than water. If the electric charge is high enough, even a good insulator won't stop the current. Electricity travels in a path called a circuit. Electricity must have a complete path before electrons can move. In other words, it requires a closed circuit with a path back to the source. If the circuit is open, the electrons can't flow. Let's take a simple example. When you flip on a light switch, you are closing a circuit. This allows electricity to flow through an electric wire, through the light bulb, and back out the other wire. When we flip the switch off, we open the circuit. That causes the electrons to stop flowing and the light bulb no longer has electricity. To complete an electric circuit, we need three basic things: a source of power, like a battery, or a wall outlet that's connected to a power plant, a conductor, and an output device, something that does work or performs a job, like a light bulb. There are a few terms to know when talking about electricity: voltage, current, and resistance. Voltage is the force that causes the free electrons to move from one atom to another. It is measured in volts. It would be like the pressure you get when you turn on a faucet that would push a water through a hose. Current is electricity in motion. It measures the amount of electrons that can flow through a conductor. It is measured in amperes or amps. Amps would be like the amount of water flowing through a hose in a certain amount of time. When current flows through a conductor, it creates heat because of resistance, which is measured in ohms. Resistance is how tight the material is that's holding the electrons. In the water hose scenario, the hose would offer resistance because the sides of it restrict how much water can flow through it. Here are a few more fun facts about electricity. Electricity cannot be seen. It has no weight, no size, no color, and no odor. Unless it's burning something, of course. It travels at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. Electricity is always trying to get to the ground. Electricity travels on power lines and electrical wires in a closed loop called a circuit. It will stay in its circuit unless something or someone gives it a path to ground. Electricity can travel through telephone and cable TV lines. If you remember, conductors are materials that allow electricity to flow through them easily, like water and metal. That's why metal wires are used for power lines and in appliance power cords. To summarize, electricity is in the building you're in, it's in the phone in your pocket, and it's in nature. If you want to learn more about it, you can call us or email us at, look down here. Also, right here on YouTube, there's an excellent 25-minute video from Bill Nye the Science Guy. Just Google Bill Nye and electricity or search for it on YouTube, and it's a great video. Highly recommend that, and thanks for watching.